So hi everybody, I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to virtual Hatha Flow Yoga. I'm Veronica. First I want to say that if you have any available props that you can use for practice, like if you have yoga blocks or maybe some big books that you can use like yoga blocks, feel free to get those, or if you have a blanket at home or a beach towel or something that you can use for your practice, please go ahead and do that. And then make sure that you have something to drink in case you need it. I want to just emphasize that, as always, you can take breaks anytime that you want to, especially during these crazy times. We're just going to kind of take it easy. Sometimes I teach a pretty powerful class, but I want to make sure that everybody feels good as usual in their bodies, and go to child's pose whenever you want to, take frequent breaks whenever you want to, and don't feel compelled to do every single vinyasa or everything that I'm doing, and pay attention to your body and really listen. Yoga is a practice that is about listening and awareness more than just the physical practice. It's just tuning into yourself. So with that being said, start in a comfortable seat. I am sitting on a block if you want and you have one, or again if you have some books. If you want to elevate your hips, you can even sit on the edge of a blanket as well, or instead of blocks or books if you like. So just make yourself comfortable in a position that you can sustain for a couple of minutes while we come into our arrival and breathing. Rest your hands anywhere on your lap that's comfortable, so allow your shoulders to relax and keep a nice tall spine extending through the crown of your head. You can feel free to close the eyes if you're comfortable with that, or just keep a really soft gaze this way. And start to come into your breath now. Maybe just kind of exploring where your breath is in your body right now, settling down from whatever it was that you were doing before you came to class. And letting your face relax, your jaw relax, forehead, between your eyebrows. Taking a deep breath, inflating into the lungs, rib cage opening in all directions, chest rising and the collarbones spreading open. And then as you exhale, let yourself ground down. Feel the earth underneath you supporting you. Know where to fall. You are being held. See if your breath is hurried, choppy, or if it's nice and long, consistent. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Breathing in and out through the nose. And if you find it hard to sit still like this, keep redirecting your thoughts as they come in, just coming back to your breath. You might have to do this over and over again. This is quite natural. The mind wants to make thoughts all the time. That's its job. So don't chastise yourself. That's okay if that happens. Just gently but deliberately remind yourself, coming back to your breath. Take a couple more rounds of really deep breaths here. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. This position is called Anjali Mudra. A mudra is a hand gesture. So we're bringing our palms together in this position of reverence and respect, to just start out our practice by just starting there, respecting yourself, your body, your mind, how you're feeling today. This day can be different from yesterday and can be different from what tomorrow is going to be like, so really paying attention And then just formulating an intention for this practice. So whatever it is that is resonating with you right now, maybe you're dedicating this practice to whatever that is. This is your choice, your intention. You might simply want to form an intention that you want to get away from it all. So you're turning everything, attention inward. Maybe you want to think about how you're moving with the breath. Perhaps you're thinking about a person, somebody you've been thinking about, or a family member, loved one, friends far apart, and maybe you're dedicating your practice with them in mind. So whatever intention you have, just fully breathe into that right now. And once you've arrived at your intention, you can release your hands back down to your lap. Take another deep breath in. And then as you exhale, let your eyes flutter open if you have them closed. Just getting used to your space wherever you are going to practice today. And then we'll transition from our seated posture to a tabletop shape. So you can move, if you had anything underneath you, you can just move it out of the way. And then come into a tabletop shape. So your knees can be as wide as your hips, your hands as wide as your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And we'll come into cat and cow postures, alternatively breathing in and out. So for cow pose, you can begin by swaying your belly towards the mat, lifting the tailbone, lifting the gaze up, and stretching the front body, inhaling. And then exhaling to go the other direction. Coiling in, navel pressing into your spine, chin tucking to chest. Press your hands into the floor and really dome your upper back toward the ceiling. Round your back like you're separating your shoulder blades on the exhale. Try that again. Inhaling, letting your belly drop towards the mat, lifting your tailbone so you're getting a little arch in your back, lifting your gaze. Full breath in. And then full breath out as you coil in. Press your navel to your spine, chin to chest. Separate the shoulder blades. Press into the earth. Cat pose. Inhaling for cow pose. Exhaling for cat pose. Do this on your own breath and timing. Just starting to loosen up your back, your vertebrae, how they interplay and articulate together, and with your breath as you create more space as you warm up your spine. Feel free to move in any other ways besides cat and cow. You don't have to stay linear. You might circle the hips around, maybe starting to feel into the pelvis and the hip joints. And go the other direction if you're circling, or you might be doing something completely different, which is totally fine. Whatever you're doing on one side, make sure you go ahead and practice it to the other side as well, so you kind of feel symmetrical in your body. And these are really free-flowing movements. You might circle your head. You might bend into your shoulders. Really, there's no rules. And the beautiful thing about this home practice is that maybe you are all by yourself and nobody's even looking. I jokingly like to say in my real life face-to-face classes, if you feel self-conscious in your movements, then just close your eyes and no one will see you. But in this case, building your home practice, so free to move however you like, and exploring and staying in any particular place that you like that feels good to you, not needing to rush. Just trying out some different movements and tuning into your awareness of your body. Maybe you're stretching a leg back on the ball of your foot. As long as it doesn't hurt you, then you can go for it. And then come on back to your tabletop shape once you've had a little bit of exploration. We're going to thread the needle and just stretch the outsides of the shoulders. So in your tabletop shape with knees under hips, take your left hand, center it right in the front of your mat. And then your right hand's going to come up to the ceiling as you inhale. Look up, you got a little twist in your body here, and then as you exhale, take your arm, thread it through underneath your left arm. Land your right shoulder and the right side of your head on the ground and support yourself with your left hand. So here you can be still or you can move a little bit. Sometimes I like to massage my shoulder into the mat, the outside of my shoulder. If you want a little bit more spiraling in your spine here, you can inhale and take your left arm up towards the sky. And whenever your hands are off the earth, it's always a great opportunity to loosen up the wrists, fingers. If you want a little bit more, you might bend this top arm, place the back of your hand on the back of your sacrum, and then peel that left shoulder open so that you're looking up towards the ceiling, really rotating the spine. If you're in this option, you might really feel your rib cage wrapping around the spine. Take an inhale breath. And exhale, completely unwinding from whatever option you were in. So coming back, taking your left arm to press you up, unthread the arm, take a counter stretch to the right with the right arm. Inhale, take it up. And then exhale, land that hand back down on the earth. Wobble out the hips a little bit. Let's go to the other side. So place the right hand front and center right underneath your face. Take an inhale breath. Left arm sweeps up toward the ceiling. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to slide it through underneath your right arm. And then adjust your right arm to support you. Left shoulder, left side of the head landing on the mat. And feel free to explore some options here. So option one is just stay here if this feels good. And massage your shoulder against the mat if you like, a little movement. If you want a little bit more, you can take your right arm up, inhale, make a couple of circles with your wrists, curl your fingers. Maybe you want to bend that top arm behind your back, place the back of your hand maybe on your waist, maybe you grab your t-shirt, maybe your fingers find your left hip crease. Wherever you are at, meet yourself right there today. You're here, inhale, roll your right shoulder back away from the right ear, exposing the heart. And then exhale, slowly unwinding from whatever option you were in. Take your right hand down to the earth, press yourself up, unthread the left arm, inhale, counter stretch, reach the left arm up, and then exhale to release. Okay, you can wiggle that out a little bit. And then from here, we're going to come into some Surya Namaskar. So just crawl your way up to the top of your mat in your tabletop shape. Tuck your toes under. As you inhale, hover your knees off the earth. As you exhale, send your sitting bones up and back towards your downward facing dog. And feel free to paddle and rock. So you might look like this. I'll turn sideways for you. And you'll look like this upside down V shape, pressing away from the fingers and the wrists and the hands, widening the upper back, and dropping the heels down towards the earth as much as you can. It is okay if your heels are not touching down. Just make the heels feel heavy. Take a deep breath into your back body like you're separating your shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, melt your heart down towards the mat. Try 2 more breaths in this downward facing dog. Inhaling, stretching the spine, sitting bones going back towards the heels, and then exhaling to melt down. Take 1 more breath here. And exhale completely. Let's walk to the top of the mat from your downward facing dog. So coming up to the top of your mat, hang down in a forward fold. So your feet can be hip width apart.
And you can bend your knees as much as you want to. If your hamstrings are tight, that's okay. Rest your chest on your thighs even. Maybe you bend your knees a lot. If you like, you can grab opposite elbows and you can sway gently from side to side, just releasing your lower back. And then come back to neutral in the center. Release your hands like a rag doll. Press into the feet. Slowly start to rise to standing. Let your head and arms be heavy. And slowly stacking your vertebrae, the little bones in your back, one on top of the other, like you're building a really nice, tall, stable tower that is your spine. So coming all the way up, let your chin and head unfurl last. And then take a big breath in, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, make a big, huge circle backwards. And then palms can be forward, glide your shoulder blades down your back, exhale. Try that twice more with a breath. Inhale, shrug. Big circle opening through the heart. Exhale. Let the breath go. One more time, fill up. Inhale, breath, shrug the shoulders. Make a big circle backwards. And then exhale, glide your shoulder blades down your back. Thumbs can point out to the sides and palms can be forward. I call this, or this is biologically the anatomical position if you open up a biology textbook. So here we are. This is Tadasana. Tadasana. Tadasana, mountain pose. So there's Tadasana in every asana. So every posture starts with this nice tall alignment, nice long spine. So what we're hoping to do in yoga is create some space in our bodies and our minds. Let's take a sweeping breath in and up. Inhale the arms reaching up. Look up, stretch the side bodies. And then exhale, collapsing over your legs to fold. Let it go. Take a halfway lift here. Either fingertips to the earth or your hands can come to your shins. As you inhale, press into your shins, lengthen your spine. So sideways, this looks like this. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release and fold. Again, you can bend your legs as much as you want to. Let's try that again. So either fingertips on the earth or hands to shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine. It's almost like you're pressing yourself out of your pelvic bowl. Zip your belly button in and up so that your back flattens. Look forward. And then exhale to release and fold. Plant your hands on either side of your feet and step back to your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Long name in Sanskrit. Downward facing dog. So we'll take 3 breaths here. Inhale deeply through the nose. And exhale. Feel free to part the lips and exhale through the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. And exhale completely. Roll forward to a high plank. So coming forward from your downward facing dog, take your shoulders over the hands. Make your belly nice and firm so you're no longer in this upside down V shape with your bottom glutes facing up. You're in a nice strong lunge, top of a push-up. And then go ahead and lower, bend your knees, lowering your knees to the ground. Bend your elbows straight back to hug into the ribs, lower your chest and chin down. Slide forward, untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, inhale, cobra pose. As you exhale, we're going to go back to downward facing dog, and you can go through your child's pose if you like. In fact, let's go to child's pose. Knees out wide, toes together to touch. Nestle your rib cage right in between your thighs and let your forehead come down to the mat. So here's your resting posture, child's pose. Come to this position anytime you like. Okay, you can come through whenever we're going through vinyasas to downward facing dog. You can rest in child if you like, and always catch up. So sideways might look like this. You're grounding down on top of your heels with your sitting bones. Take a deep breath into the back body. Now you can try a couple different arm positions in child if you like. You can reach the arms straight back towards your feet with your palms facing the ceiling, and that's another opportunity to roll out the wrists when they might get tired from downward facing dog or anything on your hands. So when your arms are reaching straight back, you can take a little break with the wrists. Another way is you can reach the arms straight forward, connect your palms in Anjali Mudra, palms together, and then nestle your elbows really close to your temples. Bend your arms so that your thumbs touch the back of your neck in like a reverse prayer pose. And crawl your elbows forward. And now you can feel a nice stretch in the upper arms, the tricep muscles, and this opens up into the shoulders a little bit more. Breathe into your back body. So feel free to take any one of these positions with your arms that feels comfortable for you. One position is not better than another, it's just different. Take another breath here in child. And then we're going to meet in downward facing dog. So slowly walk yourself up out of your child's pose. Come to maybe table first and then tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift your knees. Exhale, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, melt your heart towards the mat. 2 more breaths here, lengthening your spine. Inhale. And exhale, making the heels feel heavy towards the earth. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale completely. Bring your feet together to touch so big toes can connect. If you're looking at me sideways, here I am. As you inhale, you're going to lift your right heel up towards the sky for a 3-legged dog. Now really rotate your inner thigh inward like your pigeon-toed. Flex your foot so your toes are pointing down towards the mat so you can feel this squareness of the hips, both hip points pointing straight down towards your mat. Now you can go ahead and bend this knee and then stack your hips to open to the right side. So, pointing your right knee up towards the ceiling, leg bent, maybe like at 90 degrees. And then begin to make some circles with your knee, like you have a little paintbrush on your knee and you're painting some circles on the ceiling. So really big circles can feel really good for the hip joint. Maybe do 2 or 3 in one direction and then change direction of your circles. Just awakening the hip. Take a deep breath in as you re-extend that right leg up to the sky and then re-square your hips so point your toes down towards the mat in your 3-legged dog. Take an inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, bend your right knee, bring it forward underneath your core, shoulders coming over the hands, and then step your right foot through between your hands for a long lunge posture. Keep your left hand down on the inside of your right foot, and then sweep your right arm up towards the ceiling for a twisted low lunge. Take a deep breath here, reaching the right arm up, looking up toward the ceiling. Left arm is strong. And then as you exhale, land your right hand back down to the outside of your right foot. Step your right foot back to your left into a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Bring your feet together to touch. Big toes can connect. Inhale, taking your left leg up towards the sky. We're going to get this feeling of squaring the hips again, so really be conscious of rotating your left leg inward. Inseam of the left inner thigh inward. Flex your toes down toward the earth in this 3-legged dog. Now go ahead and bend that knee. Stack your hips to open to the left side. This time you're pointing your left knee up toward the ceiling, so you're opening up, twisting the lower body. But can you be conscious of the shoulders here? It's really easy to fall over to one side, feeling this really nice stretch. So instead, you're just twisting the lower body, but keep the arms solid and in one plane. The shoulders can stay in line, so don't dip one shoulder. Keep that left shoulder strong. Start to circle that knee around in space. So go ahead and open up into that left hip socket. And then change direction of your circles. Maybe do 2 or 3 to each side. And then inhale, re-extend your left leg back up to the sky, 3-legged dog. As you exhale, bend your left knee, bring it forward, shoulders over the hands, and step your foot through for a nice long lunge. Keeping the right hand down on the ground next to the left foot, sweep the left arm up, opening up to a twist. Looking up toward the hand that's pointing to the ceiling, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, lower the left hand to frame your left foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Bring your feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep that right leg up toward the sky again, 3-legged dog. Go ahead and bend your knee and stack your hips to open. Just feel that hip opening up. Keep your shoulders level. Inhale, re-extend the leg and re-square the hip. And then exhale, step your right foot forward between the hands. Now we're going to go into a low lunge Anjaneyasana here, so you can lower your back knee down toward the mat. So if you have a blanket handy or a beach towel, you can put it underneath your left knee to pad yourself, give yourself some support. And then untuck your back toes. Make sure your right knee is right over the right ankle, forming a nice 90-degree angle. And then as you inhale, sweep your arms up toward the ceiling. So just letting the hips be heavy towards the earth, getting a nice stretch in that left hip flexor. Inhale, breath, look up towards the hands. And then press into that right foot that's in the ground and get up a little bit taller. Taking the thumbs to reach back behind the head. Reach back behind your head. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down through Anjali Mudra, heart center. And we're going to twist open to the right by hooking your left elbow on the outside of your front knee. Press the palms together and turn and spin your heart and rib cage to the right, up over your right thigh. Just kind of squeezing into the internal organs, which helps with digestion, flushing the organs with fresh blood. Take another deep breath here. And then as you exhale, come back around to the front with your hands. If you have props, blocks, books, toilet paper rolls, maybe you don't have those. They're not very plentiful nowadays. Anyway, so take your hands on some blocks if you'd like. We're going to rock back to a half split posture. So just rock your weight back towards your left heel. And you can come onto the heel of your front foot, flexing the toes back toward your head. And then take a deep breath in here, lengthening your spine. And then exhale, folding over your leg any amount. Half split pose, Hanumanasana. Hanuman was the Indian monkey god. So this is the monkey god's pose, Hanumanasana. Take a deep breath in, bending back into that right leg into your low lunge Anjaneyasana. And then you can frame your front foot, tuck your back toes under, lift your knee off the earth. If you had a blanket, you might move it to the other side. Step your right foot back to meet your left in a high plank pose. As you inhale in your plank, keeping the core tight, shift the shoulders over the hands so you press through the toes like you're peeking over the edge of your mat. And then exhale, lowering down. So you can lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, coming up for your back bend, which can be a cobra. Roll the shoulders back, open through the heart. Inhale. And then coming back home to downward facing dog. Feel free to come through child, rest in child if you like, or rest actively in your downward facing dog, because we'll be here for 3 breaths. So inhale through the nose. Feel free to part the lips, exhale through the mouth. Inhale, breath. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bringing the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep that left leg up to the sky, bending the knee and stacking the hips to open. Making sure that we're level in the shoulders, so not tipping over to one side. Press through that left shoulder. Inhale to re-extend your leg and re-square the hips. And then exhale to step forward between the hands, setting up your low lunge on this side. So bringing in that blanket or towel or whatever padding. Maybe you just roll your mat over, making a little like hot dog bun shape. Pad your knee and try to be on the fleshy part right above your knee rather than right on your patella, rather than right on that kneecap. So stretching out that right hip flexor now, coming up to Anjaneyasana. Untuck your toes. Inhale, raise the arms all the way up above your head and electrify through the fingers. Just really open the fingers nice and wide. Press into your left foot. Rise up. Take your gaze point up between your hands. Take a deep breath in. Reach the thumbs back, back, back behind your head. Keep the belly nice and firm. Inhale, breath. As you exhale, come down through Anjali Mudra, right in front of the heart. Twist open to the left side, hooking right elbow on outside of left knee, pressing the palms together and spinning to open and twist to the left side. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then as you exhale, come back around to frame that front foot. So either hands on blocks or books or any props that you might have if you need to reach the ground a little better. And then shifting your weight back to a runner's lunge, which is this half split posture. Stretching out the front leg, coming up onto the heel of the front foot, flexing your toes back toward your head. Take an inhale breath to lengthen. And exhale, fold over the leg any amount. And stay here for a couple breaths. Next breath in, start to bend into your left knee, landing your left foot back into your low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Frame your front foot, tuck your back toes under, lift your knee off the earth. You might move your blanket out of the way if you have one. Step your left foot back to meet your right high plank pose. As you inhale, press forward over the hands. As you exhale, you flow your way. So if you'd like to do chaturanga instead of lowering knees, chest, chin, you can always bend the elbows to 90 degrees, building strength in the arms and hovering, lowering all the way down, untucking toes. Inhale for cobra pose. If you want a little bit more than cobra pose, you can come up into upward facing dog. So through cobra, you would extend and straighten the arms. So hips are lifted off the earth, keeping your belly engaged and firm so that you're not pinching into the lower back. Upward facing dog. Arms are straight, shoulders are over the hands. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, coming back up to downward facing dog. You can untuck the toes. Come back to your downward facing dog. Or child's pose. Either way, you can rest in child's pose, you can rest in, eventually downward facing dog becomes a resting posture. Overall body strengthening posture, home base yoga pose. Take another deep breath in. Exhale completely. One more breath. And exhale, bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep the right leg up high to the sky. This time, bend your knee and bring it forward underneath you towards your forehead, like you're going to kiss your knee. Get on the ball of the back foot, shoulders over the hands, and squeeze your right heel up towards your glutes, round your back like cat. And then exhale, grow your leg back up to the sky, three-legged dog. Let's try that again. Inhale, bringing the knee forward, shoulders come over the hands, get on the ball of the back foot, round your back. Squeeze your heel in and up. Exhale, grow your leg back up to the sky. Three-legged dog. Inhale here. And then exhale to step through between the hands. So we're going to go to warrior one. Ground your back heel, turn your back toes out 45 degrees. So to the top left corner of your mat. And then inhale, rise up. Just place your hands on your hips to make sure that your hips are staying nice and square. It's easy to go like this in warrior one. We want the hips to face the front of the room. So you might need to bring your foot in a little bit, right foot, so that it's underneath your right knee. Hips are facing forward, left heel is grounded, left toes are turned out slightly 45 degrees. Feel that pinky toe side edge of your back foot grounding down. And then inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. So warrior one, we're going to make a little room for the next transition here by toe heeling this right foot out to the side just a little bit. Toe heel it out just a little bit. So you're widening your base in your warrior one. And then go ahead and cross your left arm over your right. Come in for a hug. And grab onto the outsides of the shoulders. And if you want to eagle wrap the arms, you can continue to wrap your forearms around each other. And maybe your right fingers find your heel of your left hand or inner wrist or forearm, wherever you're at. Or, option to stay right here in this hug, whichever feels better. So either way, as you inhale, if you have a hug, you're going to inhale, lift your elbows up toward the ceiling as you gaze up. If you're in an eagle wrap, you're going to lift your fingertips up toward the ceiling, feeling a stretch in the shoulders. And then exhale, bring them back down in front of the chest. Try that again. Inhale, either elbows or fingertips rising up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, bringing them down in front of the chest. One more time, eagle or with a hug. Inhale, lifting up. And this time, exhale and bow onto the inside, into the inside of your right leg for a humble warrior variation. So you can either be with eagle arms or once again in a hug, bowing down to the inside of the right knee. Release the head. You might feel a stretch on the outside of the right hip. And then inhale, rise back up, unfurl, let go of the hug, reach the arms up. Exhale, take both of your hands to the inside of the right foot. We're going to go into lizard lunge here. So spin on the ball of the back foot to lift your back heel so that all of the toes are facing forward now. So your props can come in really handy if you have your props, books, blankets, whatever you're using to reach the ground more. So in your lizard lunge, you can rest your forearms down onto your props. Keep hugging that right knee in toward the midline. So if it's pretty intense for the back leg on the ball of your foot with a straight leg, you can always lower your knee down to the ground. Sideways looks like this. So you can lower that knee down. We're all going to eventually get to that place. So lizard lunge is a great stretch for the outer hips. Take another breath wherever you are. And then everybody lower your left knee down if you didn't have it lowered already. Untuck your toes. You can move your blocks out of the way and come onto your hands on the inside of that right foot. Then you're going to bend your back knee towards your glutes. Reach your right arm forward and around the right to maybe access that right foot. Big toe side for now. See if you can grab the big toe side. If you're unable to access your foot, you can bring your hand to your sacrum. Just rest your hand on your sacrum and look to the right. So if you do have your toes, see if you can sweep your fingers up and over the toes toward the pinky toe side edge of the foot, and then look back, peeling your right shoulder open for a twist, looking back towards that foot while you're stretching this quad.
Take a deep breath in. And exhale, coming back, slowly releasing the foot. Tucking your back toes under, back to your lizard lunge. And then take your right hand to the outside of your right foot. Toe heel that right foot back to center. Step it back to your plank pose. As you inhale, press through the toes to come forward. As you exhale, your connecting flow. Inhale for your back bend. Your choice. So you can either do cobra or you can do upward facing dog. You choose. And then exhale back home, lifting your tailbone up, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Here or in child's pose. So wherever you are, take a deep breath in and exhale completely. Inhale into the back body. Really feel your back body becoming wider. And exhale. One more deep breath, rolling the shoulders round and down towards the mat as you widen your back. Exhale and bring the feet together to touch. As you inhale, sweep your left leg high to the sky. As you exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. Shoulders over the hands, get on the ball of the back foot, round your spine. Squeeze your heel up toward your glutes. Exhale, grow your leg back up, 3-legged dog. Try that again. Inhale, bring that knee forward, shoulders shift over the hands, round the spine. Exhale, grow the leg back up. Inhale, breath in 3-legged dog. Exhale, breath to step through between the hands for warrior 1. So we're going to turn that back foot out 45 degrees and ground the heel. And then inhale, rise up, place your hands on your hips. Just performing this little square hip checking. Okay, so they could be a tiny bit off, but you want to encourage your left hip back, your right hip forward. Make sure that your left foot is right underneath your left knee. And then feel that grounding sensation in the back of the right foot. Pinky toe side edge, grounding down. Once you have that, inhale, take the arms and reach them all the way up, warrior 1. We're going to go ahead and widen the stance here. So toe heel, left foot out, just a little bit to the left side of your mat for our humble warrior variation in a minute here. So we're going to go ahead and cross the left arm over the right this time. You can either come in for that hug. Okay, everybody deserves this. We should do this at least once a day. Or your eagle arm wrap. Continue to wrap your arms around each other. Fingers point up to the ceiling. Either way, as you inhale, you're going to stretch your fingers up toward the ceiling or your elbows if you're in a hug. And then exhale, bring them back down in front of the chest. Try that again. Inhale, breath, reaching up. And exhale, breath, bringing them back down in front of the chest. One more time. Inhale, breath, fingertips reach to the sky. This time as you exhale, you're going to humbly fold to the inside of your left leg. With either eagle arms or with a hug, release the head down. And enjoy that stretch on the outside of the left hip. And go ahead and inhale, rising up, unfurling from wherever you were, arms come up. And then exhale the hands down to the ground on the inside of the left foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot, so lift the back heel, square out so that all the toes, both feet are facing forward for lizard pose. So again, you can place some blocks, books, props on the inside of your left foot to support you in your lizard as you come down onto your forearms. So again, remember for this one, you can always come down to your knee. So you don't have to wait for the stretch. You can come down, place your back knee down. You're still stretching the outer hip. And your right hip flexor is also stretching. Take a couple more breaths here.
And then everybody bring the knee down if your knee wasn't down already. Untuck your toes. Come up onto your hands, moving your blocks out of your way. Hands are on the inside of the foot. Then go ahead and bend your back knee. And then reach your left arm forward and around the left side to try to grab the big toe side edge of your right foot. Or taking your hand to your sacrum. If your foot is not accessible, you can press your hand into the sacrum and twist open to the left. If you have the toes, come up over the tops of the toes to the pinky toe side edge. So you're rolling that left shoulder back to open through the heart, turning to the left. Nice stretch for the quad, twist, inside and outsides of the hips. Take another breath here. And then as you exhale, slowly let that go. Bring your left hand to the outside of your left foot to frame your foot. Get on the ball of your back foot. Lift your knee off the earth. Step back to your plank pose. Inhale in your plank. Press forward through the toes so that your shoulders are over the hands. Keep the belly firm. And lower down for your connecting flow. So again, you can always lower your knees, chest, and chin down to the earth. If you like chaturanga, low push-up, bend the elbows straight back, hovering at 90 degrees and building some strength in the arms. And then everybody lower all the way down to your belly. So however you lowered yourself down, lying on the belly. We're going to do a couple other belly back bends, so that you have some more choices for whenever you're doing a vinyasa. So let's come up onto the forearms. So legs are long, toes are pointed back. You're up on your forearms. Make sure the forearms are parallel to each other. Spread your fingers nice and wide on your mat. And make sure that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. So really tuck them in. It's easy in this posture to go like this, out to the sides. So bring your elbows close into the rib cage and then energize through the fingers like you're actually pushing down into your mat and drawing yourself forward so that your heart could kind of blossom between the gates of your arms. Stretch through the crown of the head so you're lengthening your neck and your spine is long from tailbone to crown. And this is Sphinx pose. So whenever you're doing a vinyasa, you can do cobra, you can do upward facing dog look, you can even do Sphinx. This is another choice for a back bend. Gentle back bend. And then go ahead and lower yourself all the way down. Make a little pillow for your head. One hand on top of the other. Rest your forehead down on your hands. Take a couple breaths here. I'm going to show you another belly back bend or two so that you're going to have lots of choices in your treasury to choose from. So let's go ahead and come up off of your hands. Reach your arms straight back towards your legs. I'll do this one sideways. Okay. So palms are facing the ceiling. As you inhale, you're going to lift your head and shoulders, roll your shoulders back, lift your palms toward the ceiling, and then lift your feet up. So you're balancing only on your belly for locust pose. Try to draw your feet a little bit closer together. Flex your toes back towards you, energy going out through the balls of your feet. Take one more breath, rise a little higher. And then exhale, release, slowly come down. You can turn your face to one side. You can wobble the hips out, or you can bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs from side to side if that feels good. So that's locust pose, Shalabhasana. We can try that one more time. You can do it the same way, or you can try it with a little bind. So to do the little bind, you're going to interlace your fingers behind your sacrum. You can cross your thumbs, palms can touch, and let your index fingers stick out like a little temple mudra. So as you inhale, lift your head and shoulders, and then point your index fingers straight down your tailbone as you roll your shoulders back,
to lift your chest off the earth and then lift your feet up. So here's your bound locust. Take another deep breath, rising up. And then exhale, release the hands, turn your head, wobble out the hips, windshield wiper the legs if you like. Take another couple breaths here. And I'm going to show you one more choice of a belly back bend. And this one is called bow pose. If bow pose is not accessible, you can feel free to do another locust like what we just did, Shalabhasana. So for bow pose, hands are reaching straight back behind you. You're going to bend both of your legs, reach back to grab your feet, and then as you inhale, press your feet into your hands to lift off, keeping your knees sort of close together in the same neighborhood, opening through the heart. Keep breathing, directing your feet up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, slowly lowering down and letting that go. Wobble the hips out if you like. And I'll meet you in a child's pose, so you can feel free to come up and back to your resting posture, child's pose. Feel free to open the knees out wide. Take another breath here. And then we will meet in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Press your sitting bones back towards the heels. Really feel the length of your spine. Take one more breath. And then slowly walk forward towards your hands, and we're going to come to a seat on your mat. Okay, so we're going to do a little more core strengthening in Navasana, boat pose. So for boat pose, your feet will be flat on the ground, knees pointing straight up to the ceiling, hands behind your back, right behind your sitting bones. And then sit up nice and tall, open through the chest. As you inhale, rock back, pick your feet up off the floor, and then you can balance sitting down on your sitting bones, staying nice and tall. At any time, you can feel free to place your hands behind your thighs for support, or you can just take the arms forward. If you want a little more challenge, you can try to straighten one leg out, and then try that on the other side. Maybe you try that with both legs. And then wrap your arms around your legs, squeeze in, and you can let that go. And then let's come all the way down onto our backs for a supine twist. So lying all the way down, bring your right knee up toward your chest. And you can tee the arms out to the side. And then just go ahead and take your right knee across your body to the left side for a twist. Try to make sure that right shoulder stays grounded. So you could put a prop underneath your knee if your knee is not going all the way down to the ground. You could do something like that. And then you can turn your head over to the right hand if it's comfortable for your neck. Otherwise, you can keep your head straight up in neutral. Take another deep breath here. And then as you exhale, bring your head back to neutral if it wasn't there, and then bring your knee back up into your chest and give it a little squeeze in.
And then drop your right leg straight down to the ground. Lift your left knee up towards your chest. And just hug it in. And then go ahead and take your left knee over across your right side. So keeping that left shoulder grounded down. Don't let it come up like this. Keep it grounded. You can support your left knee with a pillow, blankets, blocks if you like, or maybe your knee is able to go all the way across with your shoulder staying grounded. If it's hard for the shoulder to stay grounded with straight arms, you can always bend your arms to more of a cactus shape, goalpost arms, so feel free to bend. Take another deep breath. And then unwind, bringing that knee up toward your chest. Squeezing it in. Go ahead and bring both knees up now. Give yourself a hug. And rock from side to side, gently releasing your back. You can feel free to grab a happy baby posture here if you like. Just flexing your feet toward the ceiling, pulling your toes back. You can grab the outside edges of your feet and bend your knees a lot. You can rock from side to side. And then we'll transition to our final resting posture, Shavasana. So make yourself as comfortable as you want to get. And you can stay in your Shavasana way past this meeting time. So feel free to stay here for 3, 5, 10 minutes, whatever you like, whatever you can do. So if you like to feel a little more padded, you can put a blanket down or you can put a blanket on top of you. And then let yourself relax all the way down. Let your feet flop open to the sides. Let your arms take up a lot of space out to the sides, kind of like a 5-pointed star. Feel the whole back body grounding down onto the earth beneath you. Take deep breaths here, letting go of any tension. Feeling the rising of your chest as you inhale, the spreading out of the rib cage, filling of the lungs, and exhaling completely, feeling secure and grounded. For those of you that want to stay in Shavasana, you can feel free to do that. I'm going to go ahead and close out the class, so go ahead and start to curl your fingers and spread your toes. Get a little bit of movement back into your body. If you have the room, stretch the arms straight past the crown of the head. Long stretch, reawakening, and then gently bring your knees in toward your heart. Roll over onto your right side. And then using the strength of your arms, help yourself to come back up to a seat. If you want to close out with an Om with me, you can unmute your mics if you'd like, so I can hear you. And come back to your nice tall seat, noticing the effects of this practice today. You can join your hands together in front of your heart. And we'll seal our practice today with the universal mantra, universal vibration of Om. Feel free to chant with me. Take a deep breath in. Exhale for Om. Om.
The light in my soul humbly bows down to the light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you all for joining, my friends. See you next time. I'm Veronica. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm still here.